This is a Prima LCD TV. Now, Prima was a Chinese brand. It was actually a brand that was only sold in Canada through Best Buy, Future Shop, etc. And as a typical Chinese set, it was probably sold in the States under various different brands. But in Canada, it was imported and sold under the Prima brand. A lot of stuff going on in this one. This set is completely dead. I know you're thinking it's a capacitor. I thought it was too. It's not. So let's take a look at what's going on. As I say, this one's totally dead. There's a ton of screws to come out on this and a bunch of brackets that have to come out to get to the power supply. One thing that needs to be noted, if you want to work on one of these things, you got to actually remove these screws in here so you can pull this panel off, get the tuner and stuff out of the way, because there are more screws down here that have to come out that hold the back on. If you don't release this bracket, you won't get that screw out in order to remove the back properly. Well, this thing's really a dog's breakfast to get this thing apart. You actually have to fish this whole panel, because this cable or this connector on here is soldered on. So you got to fish that through to get the TV apart. But once we got the TV apart, we see that it's distinctly 4 modules in this thing. We've got your signal board on here. And this big one here, this is going to be the power supply. We know that because here's our power input. Our power input's going right into this module here. So this is the one I'm going to focus on, because it said it's completely dead. Let's pull the power supply out and look and see if we find any caps that are bad. We actually have to remove this bracket in order to take out the power supply. There's an awful lot of screws on this set that have to come out to open it up. A lot of these circuits generated a lot of noise that could interfere with radios and other electronics, so the manufacturers tended to have to shield them. We don't see that on the new ones. The new ones, you open them up and there's just a couple boards in them. So here's the power supply. Just lift this out, and it looks like it plugs in a couple places. Looks like it plugs in over here to this board, and it plugs in to that board. So now we've got the separate power supply, and again, it's held together with a bunch of screws. We'll crack this thing open and see what's going on inside this unit. Well, here's the inside of the power supply, and I don't see any bulge caps, but I do see one that's probably bad. This one right here looks kind of funny. And that capacitor is more than likely in the soft start circuit. A lot of these switching power supplies operate is when they first are plugged in. A capacitor charges and provides a kick as it charges to get the oscillator going. And the symptom on sets like this is they could have been running fine for many years, and they're turned off, they're unplugged, the power fails, or they're unplugged or something, right? They're off, and then they go to plug them back in, and it won't start. And that's typically the symptom of a soft start circuit that's gone bad. Oh, this one here feels like it's coming right out. Look at this. Holy smoke, let's get the board out. This one's not even soldered in. Look at that. Pull the thing right out. Incredible. Let's get the board out. That's gonna be fun. Looks like all these heat sinks gotta come out. All these heat sinks around the side here are gonna be in the way, but I bet you it might just be as simple as a connection. But that capacitor here looks like it's been hot, just from the plastic. Normally it wraps around the top of it, and if the capacitor overheats, maybe not to the point where it vents, but if it gets close to that temperature, when it heats up, the plastic itself can start to shrink, and it'll pull back as it shrinks, and you get this type of appearance. That may be a secondary problem. The soft start may be fine. It may just be this capacitor that's not soldered in place. Okay, so now this thing's out, and where's that capacitor that's coming apart? It actually looks like it is soldered. It's right here. It is soldered, but it looks like the leads have failed. That cap has gone bad, and the actual leads going into the component themselves. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's loose. I can see it here. You can see it right there. So that's it there. You can see it if I move the part. You'll see it wiggling through the top. So we'll resolder that one, and we'll change the other one and see what happens. We'll just do a quick ESR measurement on that cap that looks like it's bad. It might not be, because it's a 4.7 microfarad at 450 volts. And a 4.7 microfarad, well, the highest my ESR meter will go is 4.7 at 250 volts, and it says 5 ohms. So if this thing's lower than 5 ohms, I think we're okay on this one here. So we measure it here, and it's measuring 0.08. I think that, and I can tell you my meter is zeroed. That one's okay. That's the startup cap for the kicker, to kick the oscillator into running, and it's on the primary side. It's fine. The problem with this thing is just this one that's come unsoldered. That's why it's not working. I should check the ESR on them for the hell of it just before I solder it back in. But I bet you that's all it is. I bet you the capacitor itself is fine, because there's no bulging tops or anything on here. It's just come unsoldered. So this is it. Where was it here? This is it here, and yeah, 0.03. It's fine. Nothing wrong with it. All it is a cold solder connection, and that's all that's going to be wrong with this TV here. So make note of that, guys. If you've got one of these TVs, C3 or C939, right here. Check that out. There it is. Okay. Put all these clips back on, and then we can reassemble the power supply. I'm getting kind of anxious to see whether this is going to fix this TV. What do you bet? You think it'll fix it? So first we'll plug our power plugs back in. So many screws on this set. Reconnect the main power cord. Now, I'm faced with this dilemma. Should I put the back on, or should I test it? I think I'm going to go out on the limit. I'm just going to put the back on this set, because after finding that capacitor that was completely unsoldered, I'm pretty confident that we've got the problem solved. Given the moment of truth, power. Oh, I got a light. I have a light. Ah! Ha ha ha! I fixed it. I fixed it. I fixed it. Another one. Let's get this thing. Nice flashy screen. Let's get this thing hooked up and see how it looks. I've just got a Blu-ray playing here, the menu off of it. We'll just start it playing here. We'll cut this off pretty quick here. I just want to see how it looks. But let's just take a look at how we can adjust the picture. It's nice that it's got the menu on the side. A lot of them don't. Like a lot of TVs, if you don't have the remote control, you're kind of pooched. But menu. But this one here appears that you can adjust it without without using the remote control. Thanks for watching, and catch you in the next informative video. Bye for now.